Hello. Welcome back, everybody. Here I am sitting in my office again because we're going to be doing a reading vlog today, or just a little catch up and let you know where I'm at in this reading journey. So for today, I was thinking that I would take you along with me while I go to a used book sale. This is going to be on Montreal's South Shore, and the proceeds of the book sale are going to go to helping some shelter animals who are in need of funding so that they can be seen by the vets and spruced up and all of that jazz to run the shelter and help them find homes. And you guys know how it is. So anyway, that's my plan for today. I want to be able to get you guys some footage, but again, I do get really embarrassed when I'm filming in public, so I'm going to see how it goes and try and get you guys some footage if I can. But in the meantime, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about where I am so far in the month of May in my reading. And it's not been a good month, I'm not gonna lie. I have finished, we are May 2nd right now, and I have finished 2 books and also DNF'd 2 books so far this month. So it's not been a great month. One of the books that I DNF'd is actually a Terry Pratchett book, which is, something that we're gonna have to talk about, which I guess, we could talk about now. I read Snuff. I borrowed it from the library. Now, I don't know if, there's one of two things that's possibly going on right now. I don't know if it's a question of Terry Pratchett is just not an author for me, or if the book that I picked up was just not one of his best works, because I think I got 95 pages into the book, at which point I just gave up on it. And I had a couple of issues with it. The big one for me, which is probably something that a lot of you have feelings about, is the fact that there are no chapter breaks. I don't love that there's no chapter breaks. It doesn't make me feel like I've accomplished anything. I rely on chapter breaks to have a satisfying breathing space whenever I am reading a book and I say, okay, I'm just going to read until the end of the chapter and then I'm going to close the book. But the fact that Terry Pratchett does not have chapter breaks in his novels, especially like the Discworld novels, it's kind of, I don't know, it's like a point for me. It's like a breaking point for me. I really need chapter breaks in my novels, and that was something that I found was niggling at me. Also, in this particular novel that I was reading, the plot just didn't go anywhere. The text was primarily focused on clever writing, and the writing was clever, and I did giggle a whole bunch, but ultimately, I didn't feel that the story had any plot. For the first 95 pages of the book, it wasn't going anywhere. It was centered on Inspector or Constable or Vimes. I don't know if he's a policeman anyway. And he goes to this country estate with his wife, who is a lady, and he doesn't really want to be taking vacation because, like me, and I totally get the character, he is a character that absolutely needs to be working in order to have a sense of identity. And, I get that. I totally get that. However, it was 95 pages of expository text with absolutely nothing happening plot-wise. And ultimately, I just didn't care about the novel. And that, coupled with the lack of chapters and the lack of actual action and plot points happening, I just don't know if Terry Pratchett is right for me. And I have another book of his that I bought at a book outlet sale because I was hoping to try Terry Pratchett based on the book that I purchased, but then I ended up picking one up at the library and started with Snuff instead. But I do also have a copy of The Fifth Elephant, and I'm actually kind of scared to try it. So this is the point at which you guys come in, and I'm going to rely on your guys' advice. Is it me? Is it Terry Pratchett that I'm just not suited for? Did I not pick up the right book to start with, or do all of the Discworld novels read this way? I actually felt a lot better once I went on to Reddit, and albeit that the posts were from something like 7 years ago, because I guess everyone for the last 7 years really loves Terry Pratchett, but there's some other people out there that just don't find that his writing is working for them. So I just don't know if it's a factor of me, a factor of Terry, or a factor of the book that I picked up not being one of the most enjoyable books that he's written. Maybe I just had like a bad experience because of the one book that I picked up, or it could just be that I don't like the style of writing, and it's not because Terry Pratchett is not a master of the craft. Absolutely, he is a master of the craft in terms of writing, but it's again, it boils down to nothing happened. Nothing was happening in the first 95 pages of the novel. It was just a reluctant cop going to a country estate complaining all the while that he does not want to be taking vacation and doesn't really want to be out there and being super bored with his surroundings, that I also was bored by everything that I was reading. So yeah, I'm open to your guys' suggestions about or commentary regards why Terry Pratchett wasn't working for me, but I'm really scared to read The Fifth Elephant because I don't know if I'm going to have the same experience or not. And because I had such a bad experience with Snuff and I really didn't care to pick it up or to even hang on to it until it was due at the library, spoiler, I returned it the same day to the library that I decided to DNF it because I did not want that bad feng shui in my environment. So I don't know. I think that, you know, for all the people that really love and praise Terry Pratchett, and I think another problem that I could be potentially having is the fact that this is an author that is super talked about, super hyped up. And I don't want to say overhyped because I think the hype is 100% merited. I just don't know if I can sit and listen to 300 plus pages, you know, of clever prose with nothing happening in the story. Like, I don't just want to read an entire 300 pages of one-liners, which is what I kind of felt that this book was. So yes, Terry Pratchett in the book made some very nice, very true commentary on what a husband and wife relationship might be like when the husband is essentially a dullard in the eyes of his wife and she feels that she needs to mend him in every way, shape, or form. And it does make for some very clever, very funny writing. But again, when I read a book, I want to be interested in coming back to it. And as you know, I often have many books running all at once. We have an airplane. I don't know if you guys can hear the airplane. We're just gonna wait for the airplane to pass by, because if you guys are new here and you didn't know, I live in a flight path. So there's like always airplanes. But yeah, I don't know if it's, I don't know, I kind of lost my train of thought, but like essentially a lot of why I felt that I needed to read Terry Pratchett is because he's so hyped and because everybody loves the Discworld novels so much. And frankly, I've been reading for 25 or 30 years, fantasy literature, and I haven't picked up Terry Pratchett in all that time. And I think that that says something, because if I had had an inkling of a notion to pick up a Terry Pratchett book, I probably would have done it by now. So I think that it's just a lot of the hype of BookTube and book community and Bookstagram and all of that jazz, and people just talking about reading it all the time. And I don't know, I don't really think it worked for me. I don't think it worked for me, and I'm, you know, embarrassed, I think, a little bit, and ashamed about that. It's not that I didn't get the humor, I just didn't have patience to sit and wait for a story that didn't seem to be coming. So I don't know. That was my experience with the first and only Terry Pratchett book that I've ever read, and it may not have been his best work, so I'm open to your guys' feedback on that matter. Moving on, I wanted to show you just like a little baby library haul that I did. And the first one that I'm reading right now is The Crane Husband, which is just a short novella, about 118 pages, which is a fable, myth, fairy tale, retelling type of thing. I don't know what the original one is in this case, but it's good. It's macabre and gothic, and has to do with like toxic parenting and a 15-year-old girl that has to take care of her younger brother, and she's kind of made to be the mother of the house and parent her parents. So that could be triggering for some people. So just if you guys are thinking of picking it up, I'm 37 pages of the way into this one right now, and I think it's going to stick with me. I'm excited to see where it's going. The next book that I picked up from the library is Space Opera. This is by Catherine Valente. Catherine Valente. I've never read her before. I think I saw this book probably floating around BookTube. Somebody must have suggested it, and or I found it probably online somewhere and it looked interesting. And then when I was perusing the shelves of the library, I saw they happened to have a copy. So I could save myself some money a little bit by not buying it. So I picked this one up because it is a sci-fi, and I love sci-fi, so I thought I would try it out. The next one that I picked up is The Golem and the Ginny. You guys have maybe heard me talk about this one before, but I actually started it. I took out the second one as well, but this is a much older title. Like, I think it was published in 1995, so it has been around for quite some time, but I had never heard of it. So I picked this one up. It has to do with, you know, a golem from Jewish folklore, a Ginny from Arabic folklore, and apparently they meet each other. That's what I read in the synopsis, and things happen. It takes place, I think, in New York City. So far, I am, again, not too far in, 31 pages in, but it's reading really nicely. I'm liking the writing style for now, so I'll let you guys know how it goes. And then lastly, at the library, I picked up a copy of The Starless Crown by James Rollins. Again, this is an author that I have never read before, but I hear lots of great things. This is the first, I think, in a series. I don't know how many books are in the series, but I know that my library has at least the first 3. So yeah, it's going to be epic fantasy, and that's something like I need to take out library books for, like a hole in the head. No, I do not need to take out library books of epic fantasy series because I have so many that I own that are on my physical TBR that I haven't read yet. So it's fun to go into the library and see a whole bunch of books that you want to read and be like, I'll take this one and this one and this one and this one, and you take them home and then you're like, oh crap, I gotta read these now. And then you look at your TBR shelf and then you're feeling like, well, you know what you're feeling. If you've been there, you know. The guilt is real. The guilt is real. So speaking of guilt, yeah, we're gonna be heading to this animal shelter fundraiser book sale shortly, and I'll try and get some footage, but you can bet that if I pick anything up, I'm going to show it to you at the end of this vlog. So yeah, I mean, just a check-in vlog. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you guys again real soon. So we have just arrived at the destination, and we're a little bit early. We are about 15 minutes early or so, and I can already see on the inside a lineup is forming to get in, so I'm gonna wait in the car a little bit longer, but it's good. I see a lot of adults in the lineup, not too many children, and by the looks of what I see, I don't think that the adults will be going for quite the same books that I would be going for. I don't even know what to expect. I don't know if there's gonna be anything good there. I really don't know. It really just depends on what people have donated. So yeah, we're gonna head in there and we're gonna see what is what. So I've just come out of the bathroom and they have a table of free books, so we could look at it and see if there's anything worth grabbing. I don't think so. A Reader's Digest, copy of the Kama Sutra, a couple of pocket books. I don't think there's anything here for us, but this is kind of what it looks like on the inside. They've got a snack table and everything, so it looks like it could be a lot of fun. There's a great big lineup, so I'm gonna go stand inside it and I will get back to you with whatever's inside. Hello. So you guys are doing a fundraiser, right?
It's all for the
Yeah, okay.
It's a no-kill shelter, so there's no funds that we get from the government, so it's all donations.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so we are back in the car, and I gotta be honest with you guys, that book sale was kind of a bust. I walked out with 3 books only, 2 by Leanne Moriarty and 1 by Richard Osman of the Thursday Night Murder Club. So I'll show you what they are as soon as we get home, but I just wanted to express, while it's still fresh in my mind, how utterly disappointing that book sale was. And you wouldn't think so, what with 10,000 books being there. They had the smallest, most pathetic sci-fi fantasy section, which it didn't even occur to me to take footage of because it was like so embarrassing. That y'all would have had secondhand embarrassment for how terrible it was. And yeah, it was just full of like YA stuff, lots of stuff for kids, and I don't know, it was just not, I didn't really find anything. So in the end, I ended up spending $11 just because I wanted to support, it's a no-kill animal shelter. And because they're a no-kill shelter, they don't get any government subsidies. So that's why these types of fundraisers are extremely important. So I definitely wanted to support them. But yeah, it was kind of a bust. When we get home, I'll show you what I picked up. Okay, you guys, so because the book sale was such a flop, we're gonna head to a thrift store now and see if we can't find anything to sort of help me with my dopamine kick and licking my wounds and all of that jazz, because I'm feeling really sad. I have major like sadness because you expect to find at a book sale of more than 10,000 books, you expect to find more than 3, and it was just not great for me. So on the way home, there's a thrift store I don't get to go to very often because it's not in my regular sort of routine geographically. So we'll make a detour there and we're going to check it out and see if there's anything that I can find. All right, you guys, so I am back and I'm here to show you the books that I picked up at the book sale. So actually, it was kind of a weird day. I bought books from two authors, one that I know and one that I've heard of but have never read any of their works. So we can start with Liane Moriarty. Now, if you guys will remember, I read only one book by this author, and that was Here One Moment, but I remember giving that book 5 stars. I had a really good time with Here One Moment, and I decided that I would give this author another try because I had a good time. I found the prose very accessible, the storytelling was very well paced, and I know that she's a very popular author, so I decided to give her a try. So these are two books that I picked up at the SPCA book sale. The first one here is 9 Perfect Strangers. Now, I don't know anything about this story aside from recognizing the author. So I am going in completely blind, but as I said, I did want to support the charity. The second book that I picked up at the book sale is Apples Never Fall. So this one is a hardcover, and again, I am going in completely blind. I have no idea what this book is about, and when we finish filming the video, I'll probably take a moment and read the synopsis. The last book that I picked up at the book sale is The Bullet That Missed, and this is by Richard Osman. It is number 3 in the Thursday Murder Club series. I just recognize the series because people talk about it on the booktube community, and Richard Osman is an author that I've never read. So, I mean, I think a mystery is probably well overdue in my reading journey. I haven't read a mystery since everyone in my family has killed someone. So it's been a minute since I've read a mystery, so I'm thinking that I will like this. But even better than that, when we made the detour to the thrift store after my very sad book haul at that fundraiser, I ended up finding the original, The Thursday Murder Club. So this one here is in trade paperback format, but I'm glad. So now I have books 1 and 3 of this series, and then I have 2 standalone novels by Liane Moriarty, of which I know absolutely nothing. And it looks like this one has a bookmark hidden in it. So that's really fun. Okay, I did not know that. So this one actually came with a bookmark.
The next day.
Hey guys, so I am back from a little bit of a country drive where I did some book thrifting because a library, maybe about a 45-minute drive from my house, was having their monthly book sale. And yeah, I just, you know me, right? I don't need to explain much more to you, do I? No, I don't. So yeah, I just want to show you what the books are that I picked up because I tried to show my husband, but he wasn't really that interested. So as some of you may know, maybe those of you who are new here don't know, that I'm pretty much the only reader in my family, so I don't really have anyone else to share my excitement of books with other than you all who come here time and again. So I want to show you which books I picked up. By the way, this is my cappuccino cauldron. It's I bought this at like a farmer's market, and I've got like a double shot of, you can't really see it there, it's like pretty full, but if I tip it over anymore, it's gonna fall over. But there's some cappuccino with almond milk in here. Too hot for me to drink. I'm only getting the foam right now, but I'm gonna put it down and I'm going to show you the books that I got. Okay. So, I went to this like library sale in Hudson. It's the Hudson War Memorial Library, and they have these monthly book sales. People in the area will donate their books, and then they sort of triage out the ones that are nicer, and they always have like a book sale going there. So here's what I picked up. The first thing that I found there actually was a copy of The Wager, which, as you may remember, I did take out from the library, but because this only cost me $3, I could actually return the library book and not have the pressure of having to finish it on time. And plus, I get to keep the book, which just has a fantastic cover, and I just would love to have this book as an addition to my collection. And I definitely plan on reading David Grann's backlist. So I do have holds on his other books at the library, but The Wager that I took out earlier this week, I'm going to be able to return. So I'm happy about that, and somebody else can enjoy it. I have my own copy now. Next, I picked up a copy of The Gargoyle. This is by Andrew Davidson. Going in blind on this one, honestly, you guys. I did look up some stuff on Goodreads to see what the overall ratings were. If I found that they were high enough, then I just brought them home. I don't know anything about this book. I just read like a little bit of the inside cover, which basically says an extraordinary debut novel of love that survives the fires of hell and transcends the boundaries of time. And yeah, I don't want to spend all the time like reading it out to you guys because y'all are not here for that, but I love the cover and it just looked really interesting, and it looks like the cover has like a die cut. Oh, okay. So yeah, you guys, yeah. So the dust jacket comes right off. It's got this like hole cut in it where the heart was. So that's the inside. That's pretty interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a book like that before. And then that's the inside. So pretty interesting. This is a picture of the author. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this author or not, but yeah, I'm going in completely blind to this one. I have never heard of this author, but the hardcover books at that library sale were just $3 each, so I figure I can't lose when the cover price of this particular one is $32.95 Canadian. So I feel like I did kind of well. If I don't love it, it'll go to the thrift store. The next thing that I found was a copy of The Sun by Joe Nesbo. Now, oh God, you guys. This will be my third or fourth Joe Nesbo that I am adding to my collection, and I still haven't even read any of the ones that I own yet. So I don't know. I really hope I'm going to like this author, because now I have, like I said, 3 or 4 of his books in my on my physical TBR. I haven't even picked up one of them yet. Like, this is actually shameful behavior. Shameful. Shame on you, Zahava. Shame, shame. I found a copy of Gregory Maguire's Mirror, Mirror. So this would be a Snow White retelling. I love a fairy tale retelling. Again, my previous experience with Gregory Maguire has been the Wicked Years series, which if you guys saw the 9 series that I gave up on video that I put out a little while ago, you'll remember that I gave up on the Wicked Years series because I had read like 2 or 3 books out of that series, and I just wasn't into it anymore. I got bored of it. But a standalone novel, I think I could definitely get behind. It's once and done. You read the story and that's it, and there's no further commitment required. So I did like Gregory Maguire's writing to the best of my memory and the best of my knowledge. So yeah, I just love the cover of this one. And this one also has a die-cut dust jacket. So if I open it up, it's again that sort of glossy cover. And altogether, it's coming in at about 263 pages. So I'm loving it. The book's in great shape. It cost me $3 Canadian, and the cover price on this one was originally $24.99 US. Another book that I picked up at the library sale that I'm going in blind on is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Now, I have no idea anything about this book. I don't know if it's YA, NA, or adult. I have no idea what's going on, because there's, you know, the Goodreads app, as I've said to you before, is a problematic app. You can look up and see if it's part of a series, but what you can't see the genre tags that people attach to the title, but you can see them when you're on a PC or if you're using like just a regular browser. But the app is really bad. The Goodreads app is really bad. If you guys want to hear how bad, go check out a video that Library of a Viking put out just recently, and you will see that he gives many reasons why the Goodreads app is not as optimized as it could be. He'll enumerate them for you. So I won't get into it here, but I just decided that this book, again, looked like it was in super great condition. This is what it looks like without the dust jacket. And then on the inside, you have this gorgeous map. And guys, have you met me? You know I'm a sucker for a nice map. You know that I'm going to be super into this book if it's got a gorgeous map like that. Come on. Like, who could say no to that? So I'm going to try this one out. I have no idea anything about this author, anything about this title. Just looked good to me. And also BIPOC authors, so happy to support that. The last hardcover book I picked up at the library sale is a copy of The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. And I believe that this is a collector's edition because it's got like all the sprayed edges. So I'm not really sure what this book might have cost new, but it's in excellent shape and it's got the little ribbon to mark your page. I'll take off the dust jacket. That's what it looks like on the inside. It's blue. You don't see a lot of those. And then when you open it up, you have the Eiffel Tower. So this is a beautiful copy. Obviously, it's a collector's edition. The price, for those of you who are curious, on the inside of the flap says $35 US and 47 Canadian dollars. So I think that for $3, I got a terrific deal on this one as well. Now, those were all hardcover books that I picked up, but they did have a table full of trade paperbacks and softcover books, and those ones were $2 each. So I picked up a copy of The Girl on the Train, which I kind of feel like I see ad nauseum in a whole bunch of thrift stores. Like, let me know how many times you guys have come across this book at your local thrift store, because I feel like every thrift store that I go to has a copy of this book. And I remember thinking to myself that I wanted to read it. So when I looked it up on Goodreads, I saw it had kind of mid reviews. Like, some people really liked it and some people didn't, but I don't know anything about this author. And I thought to myself for a minute, after reading the synopsis, completely independent of reading other people's reviews, I thought it was a topic that might interest me and a subject that might interest me. But then I went ahead and went down the rabbit hole, and I was like, oh, I don't know, people are giving it mid reviews. Maybe I don't want to pick it up. But I mean, the universe keeps shoving it in my face. Literally every thrift store I go to, mind you, you have to understand that they're always ending up at the thrift store, but it's kind of like a book that I had on my radar that I keep seeing all the time. So finally I just bit the bullet and I brought this one home, and I just hope that it's going to be at least a 3.5 or 4-star read for me. So we will see. And then I have a copy of The Mystery Guest, which is part of the Maid series. Now, I believe that Nita Prose is actually a Canadian author, so I do have a copy of The Maid. I know that this is part of the same series, although I don't know which book order it has come out. I don't know if it's book 2, book 4, book 5. I really don't know. But I know it's part of the Maid series, and I do have a copy of The Maid. I haven't read it yet, but again, this was a $2 book, so I figure I can't go wrong. All the books that people have at this library sale are just in such great condition. They're almost brand new in some cases, so you really, really can't go wrong. And then lastly, as I was leaving the library, there was a stack of books just as you walked in that they were giving away for free. And you know your girl, she has to at least take a look at the stack of books that they were giving away for free, and you'll never guess what I found for free. Now, I want to tell you that these books, if you look at comps for these books on eBay, are selling for anywhere between $25 and $40 a piece. Now, I'm not going to resell it. I'm not saying that I'm going to resell it because I love it too much, and I have a special collection of books that I keep for a different project that I'm not ready to reveal or share with anybody right now, but I have a special collection of books, and I'm going to add this book to that special collection of books, and that is The Nature Notes of an Edwardian Lady by Edith Holden. And boy, oh boy, if I was not tickled pink to see this book being given away for free. And not only that, but on the inside, it's got somebody's pressed flowers that they left. I don't know if I can show you this without it falling out, if maybe you'll get it on camera, but yeah, it's fantastic. So this book is a really popular book amongst the junk journal creators community. If you know, you know. And people have a hard time getting their hands on it. These copies are just flying off the shelves. If you can get them on eBay, but they're running about 30 Canadian dollars or whatever the equivalent to that would be in US dollars. And I could not believe that I found this one for free. Like, people really at that library had no idea what it was worth on the open market. So I'm considering this an absolute win. I'm just really happy about this one. And then lastly, I stopped by a little free library where I picked up a copy of Mutant, which is a medical thriller. And I don't know anything about this book or the author, except to say that the author is a real MD and did write this book. It's by Peter Clement. So if you guys know anything about this author, if he's any good or not, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, that's going to be the end of today's video. I'm so glad that you guys came to hang out with me today, and especially to watch this little mini book thrift haul that I did, because as I said before, I don't have anyone to share my excitement about books with. Like, nobody cares as much as I do, as much as you guys do. So I would like to hear all your thoughts about everything. And yeah, I just love to interact with you all. So thanks again for being here. I will get going on cataloging these books so that I can add them into my Libib catalog, which is what you see behind me right here next to baby Fiona. And yeah, I'm going to get that started, and then I've got to get reading because the physical TBR is growing. It's growing, my friend, and it's not reducing the way I would have wanted it to. So anyway, thanks so much for being here. Love you all so much. Kisses. See you again next time. Ciao for now.